peaceful Kingwon Peak where the main character, Bilawachun, is chopping firewood. Suddenly, a notification window appears in the air, showing that he has chopped 3.65 million firewood. Bilawachun was originally from Earth, but died and was reborn in the King Hong Academy in the south of Yanhuang. He became a teacher of the runic seal department at the academy, hoping to live a different life. However, the only system he received was a firewood chopping system. A person comes to inform Bilawachun that the headmaster wants him to recruit a disciple, as the Infront Mountain examination has started. Bilawachun has no interest in accepting disciples because his realm is too low. Despite this, he goes to the enrollment plaza, where he encounters a famous swordsman named Zhang Henning. Everyone starts to compliment and praise Zhang Henning, who has many disciples, while Bilawachun has none. They start to insult and badmouth Bilawachun, asking the headmaster to remove him from his position as a teacher. But the headmaster reminds them that Bilawachun lost his cultivation and spent 10 years in the revolving light stage realm to protect the academy. Zhang Henning challenges Bilawachun to recruit a disciple, or else he will have to resign as a teacher. Bilawachun is not interested in the challenge. Zhang Henning complains to the headmaster that Bilawachun is lazy and not worthy to be a teacher. The headmaster dismisses Bilawachun, but a girl enters the plaza and agrees to study under Bilawachun and learn the runic seal arts. Everyone is shocked, as they consider her a trash. The girl's name is Su Li, and she is also a reincarnation of an immortal. She wanted to choose the sword arts department, but at the last moment, she found a great master and decided to learn from him. When they arrive at Bilawachun's peak, Su finds that the peak is in poor condition. Bilawachun tells her about the rules she needs to follow and gives her 2 books to study. He points her to the disciples' quarters, which is also in poor condition. However, Su is curious about the snake that Bilawachun killed, and wants to eat it. Bilawachun declines her request, but eventually gives her a small amount and warns her not to be too greedy. At night, 2 intruders come to Bilawachun's peak to steal his horse. Su Li, who was staying there with Bilawachun, noticed their presence and decided to teach them a lesson. She approaches them and asks them to state their names, but they are shocked to see that there is another person besides Bilawachun. They engage in a fight, but they are no match for Su and she easily overpowers them, beating them both to a pulp. The fight disturbs Bilawachun and he activates a soundproof room. After that, Su continues to beat them even more. The senior brother of the 2 intruders from the beast taming department heard about his 2 junior brothers getting beaten to a pulp and decides to seek justice for them. He decided to get justice for them and called all of his fellow brothers to go to Kingwon Peak. But one of the guys said that they want to seek justice, but they were at fault, so they decided to scheme and blame Su Li for violating the institute's rule by beating them and report it to the law enforcement hall. As morning arrives, Bilawachun approaches Su and inquires about her progress with the book he gave her. To his surprise, Su informs him that she has only read half a page. Bilawachun expresses his amazement, explaining that the book was written by himself and requires a lot of spiritual energy to read. He then presents Su with a token that grants her access to the Academy Library to read martial arts books, and as the token level increases, she can access higher levels of the library for more advanced scripts. However, Su informs him that she doesn't need it, as she was an immortal in her previous life and already possesses all the martial arts scripts and tokens. Suddenly, people from the law enforcement hall arrive to punish Su for injuring her fellow disciples of the academy. Bilawachun assures her that nothing will happen, and the 2 of them go outside to see the crowd that has gathered. The law enforcement hall demands that Bilawachun abide by the rules and let his disciple be punished, but Bilawachun counters by asking how they plan to deal with the 2 disciples from the beast taming department who broke into Kingwon Peak in the middle of the night to cause trouble. The beast taming department explains that they accidentally slipped into Kingwon Peak and Bilawachun also explains that Su also accidentally injured them. The beast taming department persists in wanting Su to be punished and the law enforcement hall uses force, but Bilawachun has no interest in fighting them and tells Su to take care of them. Su easily defeats the 2 law enforcement hall members, but the beast taming department continues to push for punishment. Bilawachun loses his temper and makes them kneel, shocking everyone with his power. Eventually, Billawachan let go of the two guys from law enforcement hall because of an elder but the beast-taming guy hard to kneel until his master personally come to talk to Billawachan. The rest of the day goes by with Sue practicing her unique martial arts while Billawachan throws pieces of firewood at her for her to defend against. He then informs her that he has to go out and gives her a seal to use if the people from the beast-taming department come back. Billawachan then travels to the Abyss of King, which is the residence of the young Wong demon race, to find resources for his disciple. He sees a girl from the academy being chased and attacked by some people, and decides to help her by breaking her seal. The girl killed the big guy with one shot, but the other attacker began to attack her. She was not powerful enough to fight him, so Billawachan restrained the man with his seal and told the girl to kill him. However, she revealed that only he knew the whereabouts of her senior sister. He revealed that her sister had already broken her seal of Kai and ran away, possibly dying or being eaten by insects. He also revealed himself as a disciple of the Formless Boundary sect. Upon hearing that Billawachan had revealed himself, he began questioning him about the presence of a disciple from the Formless Boundary sect in that location. The man did not speak, so Billawachan killed him. The girl was upset that they did not know her sister's whereabouts, but Billawachan helped her find her, discovering her injured in a 20-foot deep pit. Billawachan helped her heal with a precious pill from the Academy's pill department. They thanked Billawachan and he asked why they came to Kangwu Abyss. They were there to find materials to repair their master's instrument and were attacked while chasing a 9th-grade ice silkworm. Billawachan decided to catch the silkworm for his disciple and they followed him. While he was gone, the beast-taming department bullied Su Li and attempted to make her kneel. When she refused, they ordered Yin Hai to kill her, but Billawachan returned and saved her, defeating Cheng Kung and healing her. Billawachan discovered that someone was spying on them and destroyed the device. It was revealed that the spy was Cheng Kung's uncle, so he plans to eliminate Billawachan's only disciple, Su Li. However, before taking any action, Billawachan gave his only disciple, Su Li, a gift in the form of an ice silkworm. To Su's surprise, the silkworm was actually a demon king, but it was obedient to her master. She was overjoyed at the gift and Billawachan instructed her to bring the silkworm with her to the upcoming examination. Billawachan suppressed the silkworm's level, and it improved. The silkworm then transformed into a human form and introduced herself as Mame. Su was thrilled to see that the demon king was actually very cute. Billawachan asked Mame to help Su with her breakthrough. Billawachan was thinking that the Formless Boundary sect was after the piece of jade, and even the system was unable to analyze it. A random task appeared, stating that if Su was able to break through within 5 days and come out on top of the exam, Billawachan would be rewarded. While Billawachan was sleeping, the system transformed into a girl. 5 days later, during the trial exam, Billawachan was roasting meat and everyone was drooling over the smell. However, some people were jealous of him and told him to stop roasting the chicken in the Academy's trial exam place, but Billawachan paid them no attention. One guy tried to approach Su, but all she wanted was her master's roasted chicken. The guy became angry and the head instructor, Yu Wanxiang, told him not to be jealous over a woman as it was a sign of weakness. A group of beautiful girls from the 4 Arts department entered, along with their instructor, Moon Xuanju. Instructor Yu Wanxiang tried to approach her, but she went straight to Billawachan to thank him for saving her disciple. Billawachan introduced Su Li to her aunt, Master Moon, who was a task elder. The rules of the trial exam were announced and everyone headed to the entry point. Su bid farewell to her master and instructor Moon, but felt uneasy about leaving them. Inside the demon's secret realm, Su fought and defeated opponents, stealing their tokens and ranking 47th in the trial. She asked Mame to transform and talk to her as she was being targeted by 2 suspicious people. People watching the trial from outside were shocked to see Su's strength. Instructor Moon asked Billawachan if he was worried about his disciple's flamboyance, but Billawachan was confident in her abilities. Suddenly, the screen showing the trial exam went off and everyone panicked. The task elder asked the array department to go to the site for emergency repairs, but Billawachan knew what was happening and sent his shadow. In the next scene, Su was seen fighting with the 2 people who were tracking her and they were revealed to be from law enforcement. Su was able to attack them with her lighting spill, but the man in the black robe was able to cut it in half. As they charged towards Su, Mame came to her aid and the two attackers were quickly defeated. The attackers were shocked to see a demon king and ran away. Afterwards, Su and Mame set off to find treasure. A few days before the great exam, Mame helped Su improve her cultivation. However, the two attackers who had previously attacked Su encountered a bigger problem when they were killed by Billowachun's shadow, who was seeking revenge for their harm towards fellow disciples. Billowachun also punished the mastermind behind the attack in a secluded cave, showing his immense strength. During their treasure hunt, Mame and Su got lost in a demon cave and Mame was complaining about being tired. They were suddenly attacked by a group of monsters, but Mame easily took care of them. Su found a secret passage leading to hidden treasure, and they came across a big door. Su was worried about the situation and asked Mame to go back, but Mame was confident in her strength. She tried to open the door by using force, but it was in vain. Su noticed something in the stone and put her hand in, causing the door to open. Inside, they found a big stone and a statue of a bird. Su remembered that this was the seal place she had set up in her previous life. Mame hit the statue with her sword, but Su tried to stop her, but it was too late. The statue of the bird broke and the seal of the stone also broke. Half of the island was covered in a purple gas and plant, and the teleportation arrays stopped working. Everyone panicked as the demon emperor had appeared in the secret realm. The headmaster sent people to help the disciples who were stuck in the secret realm and rescue them. Billowachun asked the headmaster for permission to enter, but the headmaster was worried that he would get hurt since his realm was not high enough. However, Instructor Moon also requested to join Billowachun to enter the secret realm and the headmaster agreed. The demon emperor and Billowachun's shadow fought each other, while Mame was severely injured. She makes a cocoon and got inside, where her injuries were healed. She realized that something was wrong with Su and hurried to bring her to her master. The demon emperor and the shadow continued to fight, but the demon emperor was overwhelmed by the power of the shadow. Another demon appeared and helped the demon emperor to regain his power. The demon emperor attacks the shadow. Billowachun recited a spell and his attack was of a completely different level. Billowachun then tortures the demon emperor while Mame is worried about Billowachun's potential anger towards her. Mame informs Billowachun that Su is dying and reveals that it is her fault for not protecting Su. Billowachun got angry and opens the gate of the underworld and sends the demon emperor there. Su's condition worsened and she attacked Billowachun after biting him. Su was cured, but Billowachun became infected. The system activates an antivirus mode at night on Qingluan Peak. Su's eyesight worsens and she feels like a burden to her master and Mame. Mame apologizes
by his chopping wood while Mame carries it, and Su practices her martial script despite suffering from a cold. Bai inquires about her condition, but Su brushes it off as a mere runny nose. Meng, however, reveals that Su caught the cold because of her. Bai suggests that Su can recover by taking a dip in the hot spring located in the 4 Arts department. The following day, Meng presses Su to reveal what she is hiding, but Su tells her that it is the gifts that her master had given her and had already kept them in her sea of consciousness. Su finds comfort in the hot spring and is joined by 2 girls. She notices small monsters in the water and inquires about them. The girls explain that they are called starlings, responsible for keeping the hot spring water clean and maintaining its quality. Suddenly, the vice instructor of the 4 Arts department, Lu Chuier, appears and berates Su, calling her uneducated and barbaric like her master. Lu Chuier proceeds to show Su how to use the starlings, and they rush towards her, licking her feet. 2 girls advise Su not to take the vice instructor's words to heart. She informs her that her master and Instructor Moon have entered the room together. Later, Bai tells Moon that it's not appropriate for a man and woman to be alone in a room in the middle of the night. However, it turns out that Bai was only roasting potatoes in the room and Moon had finished taking a bath. Moon informs Bai about a newly discovered secret realm and invites him to join her, but Bai is hesitant to leave his disciple behind. Moon insists that they bring Su along. Su arrives and urges her master to go home quickly, thanking Moon for the use of the hot spring. Su then reveals that she has learned a new skill from her master, but he cautions her not to rush the process and to remove all malicious thoughts from her mind when using the skill. However, Su grabs him and asks him to make a baby with her, which he tries to resist, telling her that she has lost her reasoning. Despite his objections, Su is eager to have a baby with her master and questions whether she is not as good as Instructor Moon, now known as Instructor Yu. Bai clarifies that they don't have that kind of relationship. Su asked Bai if she looked pretty, to which he replied yes and used a ruin on her, causing her to pass out. The next day at Fanlu Mountain's secret realm, Bai reminded all the girls not to lose the location and protection talisman he had given them. He also warned Su not to be greedy for resources. However, Su was embarrassed to face him after what had happened the previous night. Despite this, Bai was concerned about her well-being. Suddenly, a girl burst in, reporting that someone was attacking them outside. It turned out to be an elder from Blissful Palace named Song Mingxiu. The girl called Song Mingxiu a traitor and denied her the right to speak there. Song Mingxiu then attacked the girl, demanding that she kneel and apologize. To everyone's surprise, Song Mingxiu's spirit weapon suddenly moved on its own, causing her to lose control of it. It was revealed that Bai had taken control of the weapon, claiming it as his own. The girls were shocked to see how a spirit weapon that had betrayed its previous owner could now obey Bai. He even played it like a flute, impressing everyone with his musical skills. Su was surprised to learn that her master was knowledgeable in music, but she attributed it to his childhood friendship with instructor Yu. Song Mingxiu demanded that Bai return the jade flute to her and attacked him, but her attack was reversed, causing her to suffer the consequences. As she was sent flying, a man rushed to catch her, and Bai ordered them to get lost and he spared them for the sake of the spirit weapon. Bai returned the jade flute to the girl and promised to help upgrade the spirit weapon to an imperial weapon. The girls then asked Bai for some music lessons. Later, Meng asked Su if the old monster had done anything to her the previous night, as he had carried her to her room. The secret realm was now open, and the girls were entering it, with Bai telling Su not to be afraid and assuring her that there would be no accidents like last time. He also mentioned that he would be following her, and she had Meng with her. Bai was worried that the talisman he used on her would make normal people have blurred memories for a day, but Su was not a normal person. Meanwhile, a woman was keeping an eye on them and reported to Song Mingxiu that they had entered the realm and Song Mingxiu had beaten the man who had taken advantage of her. She urged them to head inside and not forget their mission. At Fanlu Mountain's secret realm, a young girl is under attack from a robust woman who uses her tentacles as a weapon. Despite the girl's attempt to protect herself with her flute, the tentacles manage to bind her. The woman approaches the girl, taunting her that her weapon is now useless and begins to inflict torture upon her. However, the girl is not defenseless. She uses a talisman given to her by Bai, but the woman destroys it and punishes her further. As if the punishment was not enough, the woman reveals she has more tricks up her sleeve. Suddenly, a roasted fish flies through the air, piercing the robust woman's heart, killing her. It was Bai who threw the fish to save the girl. Bai quickly checks on her and asks if she can walk, to which she replies that her spirit power has been drained, leaving her legs weak. She informs Bai that she managed to defeat most of the attackers and that they are ready to rendezvous with the others. However, she notices something strange and asks Bai about it. After inspecting the object, Bai identifies it as a soul wasp, which he believes the Blissful Palace uses to gather souls. They need to hurry and find the others. Su summons lightning, and Meng asks her why she's pushing herself so hard that she's even injuring herself. Su replies that she wants to catch up with her master as soon as possible. Meng then questions her eagerness to catch up to someone she refers to as a monster, which causes Su to blush, but before she can respond, Song Mingxiu and her party arrive. Mingxiu urges them to come with her to avoid suffering, but Meng is ready to fight. Mingxiu takes out a flower and a large stick falls in front of them, revealing its demonic power which shocks Meng. Su falls to the ground and when Meng tries to help her, she gets hit and is thrown to another mountain. Realizing that this is an opponent she cannot handle, Meng tells Su to call her master. Su is stunned by the concentration of demonic energy in the area. They express gratitude to a small sixth venerable, who has bunny ears. She insists they refer to her as Elder Sixth. She introduces herself as the demon master Chang Xiaolu. The scene then shifts to Su, who is caught in a web. The people from Blissful Palace are taking action, and the disciples from the Four Arts Department are present. Su feels the need to save them quickly, but Meng informs her that the ice silk binding them is incredibly strong, and cannot be broken. Su is shocked and feels betrayed by Meng's actions, but Meng claims to only follow the wind, and that Bai means nothing to her. Su asks why Meng would bind herself, and Meng admits to doing so intentionally. As they begin to fight, the little demon threatens to harm them both if they don't quiet down. Meanwhile, Song Mingxiu asks if there are still not enough souls for the ancestor. Next, we see a woman from the soul refining sect, Ziling, at the great perfection stage of nascent soul, and a man named Yongqing at the early stage of spiritualization. They are dissatisfied with the results produced by Mingxiu, who informs them that there are still some souls available to offer to the soul ancestor. She orders her men to bring the girls from the Four Arts department. Su pleads with Meng to release her so that she can help their junior sisters, but Meng tells her to calm down and watch. As the men approach the girls, they receive a deadly electric shock. Upon seeing it, Mingxiu is shocked and realizes that it's the Demon Emperor's doing. She asks for help from the little demon, who informs her that she already aided her but won't work for free and demands a cassia twig in exchange. Mingxiu thinks that the blissful palace has 3 cassia twigs but only brought out 2, and using the second one in a place like this would be a waste. Yongqing reassures her, reminding her that the people in the blissful palace have souls too. While killing all of her men, Mingxiu attempts to use the cassia twig, but the thick lady advises her to put it away and not forget whose strength the blissful palace relied on. Suddenly, strong energy emanates from the skull, resulting in a massive blast. The Earth Immortal Soul Ancestor has awakened, and the soul-refining people welcome him. He realizes that there's a superior soul present, namely Mingxiu, and she pleads with the little demon to save her. The demon cuts the energy holding her captive, and Mingxiu chants the secret talisman Blissful Heaven to teleport away. Meanwhile, Meng urges Su to flee, but the little demon seizes her. Meng exclaimed, "Why did you take her?" The little demon threatened her, saying if she wanted to live, she must come with her. Despite trying to leave quietly, it was too late. The ancestor attempted to devour the souls of 4 Arts Department disciples, and Meng attempted to stop him. She yelled, "Why aren't you here yet, you monster?" Suddenly there was a blast, and an axe fell to the ground. It was Bai's axe, known for chopping 3.65 million pieces of firewood. The ancestor was frightened upon seeing Bai, and Bai confidently stated, "Have you never seen a main character before?" The ancestor was shocked to learn that Bai was only in the revolving stage, but he was no match for Bai's skills. Bai descended and prepared for the fight. The ancestor attacked Bai with tentacles, but Bai used his 5-star divine talisman, which transformed into a dragon and destroyed all the tentacles. The ancestor was shocked and asked Bai for his name. Bai responded with a witty remark, "I'm your father." This enraged the ancestor, who then activated his domain and trapped Bai inside. Bai recited a divine talisman, Xian Wu, but unfortunately, it didn't work, and the attack struck him. The ancestor warned him that even if a divine runic master possesses the power of the heavens, would eventually meet their demise in his domain. The ancestor attacked Bai once again, but this time, Bai requested the system to explain what a domain is. The system elucidated that a domain is a unique power that cultivators in the spiritualism stage possess. It enables them to create a temporary independent realm that benefits the user. In this realm, they can exert the rule of heaven and suppress all cultivators weaker than the Earth Immortal. Bai was now ready to fight his opponent with full force, wielding his axe and slicing the ancestor. The ancestor was taken back by Bai's ability to harm him in his domain and asked him what was in his hands. Bai responded that it was an axe he usually used for chopping woods, and today he looks more like a wood. Meanwhile, Meng had captured the thick lady, who warned her that she would be the first to die when the soul ancestor emerged. However, Bai appeared with the ancestor's head, which he threw at the person from the soul-refining sect, causing it to explode. After witnessing Bai's actions, the plump woman pleads with him not to kill her and promises to do anything he wants. Bai orders the disciples of the 4 Arts to escort her to the academy for questioning and inquires with Meng about Su's whereabouts. Meng reveals that there was a demon master and an earth immortal involved. "What can I do?" Bai is approached by Tang Daodu, a blind disciple from the 4 Arts department, who informs him that she used the mindfulness technique to discover that senior sister Su has been abducted by the demon master and taken to the blissful palace. At the blissful palace, Su spots a corpse immortal and it greets her as Tsaishio Celestial, whom she hasn't seen in a long time. The scene then shifts to the Luli Palace, where Su is with a girl named Man from her past life. Su explains to Man that their methods of cultivation were wrong and that the immortal realm is beyond their understanding. She then cuts open her belly and extracts 3 corpses to break them, with Man trying to stop her. However, Su gets angry and throws a knife at Man, piercing her chest. Su breaks the second corpse and tells Man that it's working, but becomes upset when she sees that she isn't ascending. Su recalls that she has only broken 2 of the 3 balls, and the third one is with Man. The building has been destroyed and Man is using some sort of slime to heal herself. Su is furious with her, as Man has taken her corpse ball and gone into hiding. However, Su is now ready to unleash her full power. Man employs her mythical technique, summoning the Great Clam Armor Imagined Dragon, a water dragon that rises from the lake and charges towards Su. But Su swiftly slices the dragon like a cake. Seeing Su's immense power, Man retreats even deeper into the lake to hide. Despite her efforts to conceal herself, Su finds Man using her shooting star attack, which reaches in all directions. Man launches another attack, but Su asks her to ascend to immortality together. Man, however, refuses, saying that if becoming immortal may cause them to lose their minds and turn insane. She vows to ensure that neither of them ever becomes immortal. Su then attacks Man with her moon fairy wheel, resulting in a collision of the two attacks. In the next scene, we see both of them naked, and Su questions why Man does not want to ascend with her since they are best friends. Man responds that it is precisely because they are best friends that she does not want to witness Su's potential insanity. I will do everything in my power to bring you back to your normal state, even if it means restoring just one aspect of you, she proclaimed. At the end, Man perishes, leaving Su to take the blame for her demise. Later, we see Su reminiscing about her past life, when suddenly a corpse immortal appears behind her and asks if she has finally recollected her memories. Su yells in disbelief, "Who the hell are you? What do you want?" only to realize that the corpse immortal is none other than Man, who is now a corpse immortal. As they converse, an uninvited guest interrupts their reunion, prompting the corpse immortal to direct the little demon to greet them at the blissful palace hall's entrance. Bai has arrived to retrieve his disciple, leaving the blissful palace's leader astounded that they cannot even defeat one person despite their vast numbers. She informs Bai that his disciple has become a feast for their lord. In response, Bai unleashes a red substance, and although the leader employs a shield, her followers are unable to protect themselves and perish. Bai charges towards the leader, but she defends herself with a cassia twig and summons the little sixth venerable for assistance. Bai's attack is halted by the falling rod, and the little demon reveals that it was the last cassia twig available. From this point forward, their acquaintance is null and void. Bai inquires, "Are you the lord in question?" However, she dismisses him and tells him to mind his own business. Bai insists that there is no need for her to curse, as he only wishes to know the whereabouts of his disciple. The little demon behaves childishly, which agitates Bai and prompts him to exert a certain type of energy to pull her towards him. This causes concern for their leader. Bai seizes her by the bunny ear, but she remains confident that he cannot harm her. She believes that he is merely posturing. However, she is mistaken. Fear begins to set in as Bai employs his beating drum, Golden Emperor's heavenly might, to administer spankings. She experiences pain, or perhaps pleasure, as she gazes at him seductively and asks, "What are you doing?" Bai responds by continuing to spank her repeatedly, prompting her to threaten him by saying, "I will kill you. I'll rip you into shreds." However, Bai deems the punishment insufficient and continues spanking her until her buttocks turn red. The little demon continues to express her fury, but Bai persists, demanding that she disclose the information he seeks. The leader is taken aback by the sight of their sixth venerable elder in such a state. Eventually, the little demon relents and reveals that she is aligned with his disciple. She assisted them solely due to a past favor that she owed, which has now been repaid. Bai is aware that his disciple is secure and requests her to escort him to his disciple, but she is currently suffering unbearable pain. The leader is taken back by the immense strength of Bai and comes up with a plan. The agony of sacrificing the little sixth venerable could trigger the blood and flesh ascension formation, and Bai assumes that it was the little demon who initiated the formation. Suddenly, a hand reaches out and grabs them both. It's the leader on a demonic creature.